Well, hello everyone. I hope you've had a good week. We've had a good week here. Crazy week once again, which you all have figured that out. That's been the way it's been the last couple weeks. Uh, this week it's been hectic. Everything is here. Of course, we started unpacking things and all the furniture is put into spots and bedrooms are all set up and all that wonderful stuff. And I've been to the VA for some doctor's appointments and everything's going great. It's good. My family is finally here and we're just learning to live with each other one day at a time, which we knew how before, but now we're all together again. So it's been very hot here. I don't know about where you guys have been, but it's been very hot. But in Arkansas, that's a given at this time of year. Uh, so this week, the big thing has been the driver's license. You know, I told you last week about my wife, about how we had to get a real ID real quick. Real ID real quick. Anyhow, we had to get that taken care of, and I can't seem to get this camera quite right tonight. And to do that, we had to very last minute. I mean, they were closing right as we finished up. We had to wait in line, and we didn't have the one proof of residency that we had to have, and she wasn't going to have because everything's in my name. So we ended up having to get a hold of our bank, and our bank sent over an email with all the information that she was part of this, and because I had just changed our address. So praise the Lord, I did that. So then it had something to show that my wife lived here also. So we got all that done, and it was like right at 5 o'clock when we were leaving. They locked the doors behind us. They left us out, and we got to the car, and my wife couldn't find her Social Security card. So we're looking all over the car, and we can't find it. She heads back, knocks on the door, and like, can't find my Social Security card. So they go in, they look at the desk, and they can't find it. They come back out to the car, and here Winona found it in the back seat. Now, how it got there, we're not quite sure. Maybe, I think it happened when I had the paperwork and I put it in the back. I don't know, somehow. But anyhow, turned out that's where her Social Security card was. So the following day we were able to get on post. Well, yeah, kinda. We got on post and then on base. Then the next day, was it the next day or the day after, one of those, I went to get my driver's license. And I figured we'd do the cars while I was there, get them assessed. And so for you all that don't know up there in PA, we don't have car inspections here. Just so you know. Anyhow, so all we have to do is get the cars assessed. Well, we get in there and squared away with all the proof of ownerships and all that stuff. But I have to go to a different department to have the car assessed. And the lady told me, you can just call this number and do it over the phone if you want. There's no one waiting behind you. So I did. Took about an hour longer, but you know what? We got everything done at one time. And I was a little bit ticked off. You know, not ticked off, but just, you know, sometimes life is just not good. When Sandra got her picture taken, we lived here back in 2003 when I first got out of the military in Pine Bluff. Well, we had gotten our license taken. So we have lived here in Arkansas once before. they actually had our records from that time period. I know, can you believe it? Well, it pulled up her picture from her driver's license back in 2003. She hadn't changed much, hair a little thinner, grayer, no big deal. When it came to mine, I looked totally different, and right above my pictures it said, non-compatible, not a match. I'm like, well, thank you very much. But, so yeah, age hasn't been the best. So, but anyhow. So anyhow, we went to leave. We had everything done, license plates, everything. We went to head out the door. And I couldn't find the keys to the Jeep. Oh, that's another story. Couldn't find the keys to the Jeep. Well, we're looking, and we have a push button for the ignition, a push ignition on the Jeep. And we don't have that on the car. So it gets a little confusing once in a while. So Winona she says, Dad, you drove the Jeep? I said, yes. She said, did you bring the keys in? I'm like, I don't know. She went out and looked. Here, the keys were in the car. So by this point, though, we have already went down all the desks looking for the keys. And here I had them. So I'm like, oh, they were in the car. Thank you. Bye. That lady just looked. She's probably thinking, I just let them on the road. So, but anyhow, the reason I left the keys in the Jeep, we had just I drove the Jeep to the airport when I flew up the week before to pick up Sonda. Well, we finally went to pick up the Jeep. Well, we went to the airport, we picked up the Jeep, and we had to, the whole 9 yards. So that's why I had the Jeep. Usually I drive the car. So we got home. Everything was good, except when it came to the license plates. Was able to put them on the car, no problem. By the way, we were having trouble with the Jeep getting the new license plates. So, because I couldn't get the old ones to come off. Well, while I was in the house, we live on base. So the MP stopped, and there's my daughter taking off the license plates from off the car. And I come out and she's talking to the MP, and I'm thinking, what in the world is going on? MP, I'm sorry, it's military police. And I parked on the wrong side of the road, the Jeep. So that's why the whole thing was going on. And anyhow, I ended up having to pull out the license plates. And it took a full day to get the new license plates worked on, because, you buy a license plate kit. Well, no. The ones I got was square. The Jeep, it's diamond shaped. It's like an octagon shape. So, of course, I had to take that back and come back and redo it. A whole long story. But the main thing that really set off the week was yesterday. Saturday. Getting used to these roads down here, they're very confusing. For some reason, you put in directions, you say main gate. Well, it takes you to a whole different gate, but let me explain to you. Okay, so we live very close to the back gate, which is called Arnold Gate. Well, Saturday evening, I was taking Winona on a daddy-daughter date, and we were going to go see the Minions and the Monsters. Well, it was a pretty good movie. But anyhow, so the directions was taking us to Arnold's Gate and out the back. Well, we got down towards Arnold's Gate, and it was closed. So we had to turn around, found out it's only open, So we went back, and so we had to drive across base to get out the main gate. So then we're trying to get to the mall. Well, it tells me to take this one road. So I take it. I needed to actually be up on the next road. So I swung out like it's a ramp onto the road. Well, I swung out, and when I swung out, it's 2 lanes. And the lady beside me came over and clipped me. Well, it was one of those things where it could have been either one's fault, but I just said it was my fault. Because of where it hit, I was in my lane. I'm pretty sure I was in my lane, and she just cut over. So, but I wasn't going to argue that because I couldn't say beyond a shadow of a doubt I was in my lane. So I wasn't going to say, no, it wasn't my fault. So, pull off the side of the road. Through this whole thing, Winona is remarkably calm. And I get out of the car. I get my license and my registration. Mind you, all this is brand new. It's only like 2 days old. So we haven't even got our new insurance card yet from our agent down here. Well, anyhow, this lady gets out of the car and she looks like she's about ready to blow a gasket. Now, mind you, this lady only has a little bit of damage to her car. My car, if you look at it, it took a big hit right there at the headlight. Well, anyhow, I'm like, I'm so sorry, ma'am. Here's my information. And I said, we can switch insurance. She is, no. I'm like, what do you mean? She is, I'm not giving you my insurance information. It's your fault. I'm like, well, then I guess we'll just wait for the police. She is, good, call them. I'll wait in my car. I said, okay, fine. So I called the police. While we were waiting, she was in her car. I took pictures. I took pictures of where the car was hit. I took pictures of the front of her car. I took a picture of my car. And I took a picture of her license plates just in case she decided it was too long to wait and take off. And then that way, I could say it was a hit and run because she just took off. So, but it turned out the policeman showed up before he even got there. A gentleman came from out of nowhere and started talking to her. And she came out of her car and I went over. Nice lady, very nice lady. After we got past that initial waiting for the police, very nice lady. We still waited for the police. The police showed up and it gave us both incident numbers because we filed a report and we both talked and, you know, it's just the way it was. The policeman was very nice to me. He could have been a lot forceful. I could say, you know, a stronger ticket than what he gave me. But he was very nice about that, and it all worked out. So we got to the movie just as the movie was starting, just a few minutes past the movie beginning. You know, we got through all the ads, and the movie actually was starting. Well, we watched the movie. Then it was time to head home. I just knew it, but I thought, you know, maybe for once, just once, this will not happen. Put in directions to main gate. Guess what? Yes, you guessed it. It took us to that back gate. And the back gate is closed. So now we have to drive around the base, off base, but around to the other side to get to the other gate. Well, there's interstate and all this kind of stuff. Eventually we got to the gate. And I said to Winona, I said, I'm going to ask that guard what the official name of this gate is, because I am tired of going through that. So she told me and gave me the tags and everything at the gates. So that was good. So how does that match up for the week? Kind of ranks right up there with last week. But I must say, today was a good day. We went to a church. We went to Bible Baptist Church. It's the first church we've went to. Last Sunday, we watched our home, was our home church, Faith Bible. This week, we did go to Bible Baptist, and it was a very nice church. And our daughter gave her heart to Christ. So, all said and done, the move and everything doesn't matter. A hill of beans. That one thing means the world. We always say just one morsel. Well, today we got that one morsel. So we were just so thrilled, and we also took her out to eat like we really would have done anyhow. But we found a Mexican restaurant, so we're settled. We're in our house. We got Arkansas licenses, and we found a church and a good restaurant. So we're settled. So now we go tomorrow to check out a school for my daughter. We'll see how that goes and pray for us. She's gone in 7th grade already. 7th. Oh, and in 2 months, our son will be 22 already. 22. Where's the time go? You know, it was kind of funny today for you Gen Xers like us. I'm 50, and they're talking today about not a senior saint, but 55 and older luncheon. It's like, it's not long, and that's us. But, oh my, I'll tell you though, I do like the slower pace. People are nice and talk more to you, and it's just a slower pace, and I just really like that, and it's good. Life is good. So, well, that's it, guys. I've kept you on for about 18 minutes. That's a long time. Eventually, we'll get back to New Orleans and talk a little bit about New Orleans and how that first Christmas my family came down, and wonderful Christmas. That was the year that Patrick was just a little over a year old. So it was a very good Christmas that year. First time we've seen crocodiles for Christmas. But we'll talk about that next time. So, and alligator Christmas, they called it. But we'll talk about that next time. Don't want to get too far ahead. All right. Well, I hope this has been nice, a positive outbeat for the week. You know, talk about things that had happened, but we still had a good week. These are just things that go on in life, and you enjoy it and move on. So, okay, talk to you later. Bye.